kicking off another brand new hour here by lighting the fuse. It's going to be explosive once again here, folks. Glad to have you on board for the conversation live from Studio G. And remember, this could have a triggering effect. You could have long spells of patriotism and feeling good about America, so you have been warned. Here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, Columbia University laying off hundreds of employees after $400 million in federal grants were revoked when the university refused to comply with federal law on DEI and other initiatives. Number two, ICE captures one of the most wanted terrorist gang members in the world. And of course, they were here in the country illegally because, of course, they were. And number three, deportations and due process. Deportations and due process. That's the big argument for Democrats these days. And we're going to repeat ourselves here a little bit. I, for one, think if you are here illegally, you were never vetted at the border, you dodged that, you slipped through, then you forfeited any sort of due process that you may have been afforded. I mean, how can anyone claim any kind of special right if they broke into the country? That's the first question you ask. Look, due process is here to protect citizens, you and me, against overzealous government overreach. That's what due process is for, to make sure you're treated fairly in the process, in the legal system. It's not for people that came into the country illegally, not like these 6 guys that had 3 million fentanyl pills. It's not for them. They don't get a hearing and special treatment and a lawyer that you pay for. No, sir. Byron Donalds, by the way, the man that's a congressman from Florida now running for governor, points out being a citizen matters and due process is different for illegals. Here he is.
When it comes to due process, that is a privilege reserved for American citizens. When people are in our country illegally, there is a semblance of due process, but not nearly at the level of a United States citizen, of an American. There are two different standards. You come to America, you are a guest in the United States. That privilege can be revoked. And a lot of these illegal aliens were not guests. They showed up at the southern border. Joe Biden abused our laws, ignored our laws, and let them in. And yet, so what are the American people supposed to say about that?
Exactly. Thank you, Byron Donalds. Here's the update on that. On that note I just gave you, Immigration and Customs Enforcement made a high-profile arrest Monday in Maryland. DHS reported that Joel Armando Mejia Benitez, 38, is a validated MS-13 gang member from El Salvador who has no visas, approved or pending, at the moment of his arrest. ICE Baltimore arrested Mejia Benitez, an MS-13 gang member, with an Interpol red notice. That's from Europe. He first entered the country illegally in 2005 and was deported. He then re-entered the country illegally on an unknown day before he was arrested by his Baltimore police, HIS Baltimore, 2014. He was issued a notice to appear and released back into Silver Spring, Maryland. Of course he was, under the Biden administration. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said an Interpol red notice was put out by the International Legal Group asking to locate and provisionally arrest somebody. It's not considered an international arrest warrant per se, but it's meant to make sure a person is taken into custody for further legal action. According to Interpol's website, the red notice database has about 6,500 individuals on it. The arrest comes as the Department of Homeland Security marks 100 days with Secretary Kristi Noem at the helm. 100 days was Monday. This criminally illegal gang member and suspected terrorist should have never been released into our country. Thanks to President Trump and Secretary Noem, he is off our streets and will soon be out of the country, said McLaughlin. By the way, Secretary Noem defends the truth in a hearing on deportations happened yesterday. Democrats don't want to hear it. They don't want anything. They don't want to hear any of this. Listen.
Were any of the individuals who were deported, who had U.S. citizen children deported with them, were they given an opportunity to sign that form?
When these, the specific cases that you're referencing with these children, it was the parents' choice to take their children with them.
Did ICE
which it is the
follow
policy
through
of the
on
Trump
the policy?
administration to keep families together.
Ma'am, reclaiming my time. I told you at the top of this, ma'am, reclaiming my time. I said that the questions are really simple, yes or no. Was that form used in any of those cases?
I will get back
yes
to you
or
on
no?
that
Okay,
specific form. I
perfect.
don't know the
Thank
number,
you.
but I do
That's-
know these mothers
Okay,
went on
thank
the
you.
record
The
filling out
second form,
paperwork
ma'am,
and in
reclaiming my
interviews
time.
reiterating
Ma'am,
they wanted to
please,
keep their
ma'am,
children with them.
reclaiming my time. I'd like you to avoid the filibuster so I can get to all my questions, please.
Another piece of garbage ever good. I'd like to avoid the filibuster. Then let the woman answer a question. But they're not there to answer questions. They're there so they can get a couple of sound bites on social media and grandstand, quite obviously. What they were talking about there were children, their parents were deported. And their children are allegedly American citizens. I say allegedly because I don't believe that the 14th Amendment allows for people to just come here and have children. They're automatically American citizens. I've never believed that was the way it should be read. I agree with Donald Trump on this. We'll see how the Supreme Court comes out on it, but they're going to argue that out. The 14th Amendment was there to protect recently freed slaves, not to make America subservient to a flood of illegals having children here and then claiming they're American citizens. The people that were deported were illegal aliens who had children that they claimed were American citizens. The children were not deported. The parents took the kids with them, just to be clear. Meanwhile, Pam Bondi made an announcement that the biggest fentanyl seizure in American history, it all happened in New Mexico. The question is, how deep is the corruption in New Mexico these days? Told you about this earlier. Here's more.
This multi-agency operation led by DEA with our local, state, tribal, and federal partners targeted one of the largest and most dangerous drug trafficking and foreign terrorist organizations in our country. The DEA seized 11.5 kilos of fentanyl, including an astounding approximately 3 million fentanyl pills, the largest seizure in our nation's history. These are the pills in the bags right there. The main bottom right, the head of this organization, Sinaloa organization, here in the country illegally, 6 of these guys and women here in the country illegally. His name is Alberto Salazar Amaya. He is the leader, and he was living in Salem, Oregon. With him, they got millions of dollars, cash, cars, but the drugs were in Albuquerque, Phoenix, and Utah. That's how insulated these drug dealer cartel leaders make themselves.
And how deep is the corruption for that to be true? This incredible network of drug dealers. But the kingpin is hundreds, thousands of miles away, living a life of luxury before being taken down. I'm sure the Democrats want to make sure he gets due process as well. And while he's getting due process, maybe his dealers can kill a few more American teenagers. I have no patience for this nonsense, none. Stand up and be heard, America. Kick these illegal aliens out, period. Due process, limited at best. I'll take a break. It's the Steve Gruber Show.